The grand chamber of the Galactic Assembly sparkled with bioluminescent crystals as thousands of representatives from across the known universe gathered for what seemed like a routine session. Vizar, the senior xenological researcher, stood before them, his iridescent scales shifting from deep blue to vibrant purple with nervous energy. Esteemed members of the assembly, Vizar began, his translator converting his harmonic tones into the standard galactic frequency. I come before you with findings that demand immediate attention. His four-fingered hand gestured at the holographic display hovering above the central podium. The image showed a small blue-green planet, unremarkable except for the rapidly changing patterns of light across its surface. The assembled representatives stirred, some extending sensory appendages for a better view, others adjusting their environmental suits with mild interest. This is Earth, Vizar continued, home to a species that calls themselves humans. By our traditional metrics, they are primitive, no faster than light travel, limited space exploration, and only rudimentary quantum manipulation capabilities. He paused, letting the dismissive murmurs wash through the chamber. The hologram shifted, displaying a rapid sequence of human achievements. Yet observe, in mere centuries, they progressed from horse-drawn carriages to supersonic aircraft. In decades, they went from simple radio to quantum communications. In years, they transformed deadly diseases into curable conditions. Representative K-Toll of the Mechanized Consensus interrupted, their metallic voice resonating through the chamber. We have seen such growth spurts in developing species before. They invariably plateau. Vizar's scales flickered with intensity. Respectfully, Representative, this is different. Humans don't follow predictable development patterns. The hologram showed Earth's early space program. Look at their first moon landing. They achieved it using computational power less sophisticated than our children's learning devices. They didn't wait for perfect technology. They forced success through innovation and determination. The display changed again, showing human responses to various disasters. Communities rebuilding after storms, cities rising from earthquakes, nations unifying in crisis. Their adaptability exceeds anything in our records. When faced with obstacles, humans don't just overcome them. They emerge stronger, more capable, and more determined. High Counselor Xterra leaned forward, her crystalline form refracting light across the chamber. You speak of their resilience, yet they have not even unified their planet. How can such a fractured species pose any significance to the galactic community? Vizar touched another control, and the hologram displayed Earth's information networks. Their divisions are their strength. Humans thrive on diversity of thought. They compete, debate, and challenge each other constantly, yet unite instantly against external threats. They maintain thousands of distinct cultures, each contributing unique perspectives to their problems. The chamber erupted in dismissive gestures and sounds. Representative K-Toll spoke again. This seems like an overanalysis of a pre-spacefaring civilization. Why should the assembly concern itself with such matters? Vizar's scales shifted to deep red. Because we have never encountered a species that learns this quickly. Humans adapt faster than any civilization we've studied. They don't wait for technology to develop naturally. They force breakthroughs through sheer determination and creativity. The hologram showed human entertainment. Their stories of space travel, alien contact, and future civilizations. They've imagined thousands of ways to meet us, fight us, befriend us, and survive us. Before ever leaving their planet, they've mentally prepared for countless scenarios of galactic interaction. Most crucially, Vizar emphasized, his voice resonating with urgency, they possess a unique combination of traits we've never seen together. Extreme creativity, paired with practical engineering. Fierce independence with remarkable unity in crisis, and technological innovation, driven by both competition and cooperation. The assembly stirred uncomfortably as Vizar delivered his final warning. I recommend classifying Earth as a Category 1 restricted zone. Any civilization attempting contact without proper preparation risks catastrophic cultural and technological disruption. Humans will not react like other emerging species. They will not follow our expected patterns. They will not behave according to our models. As the assembly moved to dismiss his concerns and proceed with routine matters, Vizar added a final, quiet observation. We pride ourselves on predicting the development of young civilizations. But humans make a habit of proving predictions wrong. Supreme Commander Zextal stood on the bridge of the Mexalti flagship Eternal Glory, watching Earth grow larger in the main viewing portal. The planet's swirling white clouds and blue oceans seemed peaceful, pristine, and completely defenseless against the might of the Mexalti battle fleet. Status report, Zextal commanded, multiple rows of phosphorescent spots along their carapace pulsing with anticipation. First Officer Revan consulted the ship's neural interface. All 200 vessels have completed the hyperspace emergence sequence, Supreme Commander. No detection of advanced defensive systems. Their primitive satellites are only now registering our presence. Zextal's mandibles clicked in amusement. How long before their global communication networks spread the news? Approximately 3 of their minutes, Supreme Commander. Excellent. Let them see us. Let them tremble. Zextal moved closer to the viewport, admiring how the crystalline hulls of the Mexalti ships caught and refracted Earth's sunlight. Prepare the demonstration. Target their lunar installation. The crew worked efficiently, their movements precise and practiced from countless first contact scenarios. The Mexalti Empire had incorporated dozens of species into their collective through such demonstrations, a simple show of overwhelming force, followed by inevitable surrender and integration. Lunar installation targeted, the weapons officer announced. Energy matrices aligned. Execute, Zextal commanded. Brilliant beams of concentrated energy lanced out from the assembled fleet, converging on the human moon base. The structure, a primitive collection of interconnected domes and solar panels, should have vaporized instantly. It didn't. Instead, a shimmering field of iridescent energy bloomed around the base, dispersing the Mexalti weapon fire into harmless patterns of light. Impossible, Riven whispered, all 4 hands flying over the control interfaces. They shouldn't have shield technology. Their energy generation capabilities are detecting multiple launches from the planet's surface. The sensor officer interrupted, their voice rising in pitch. Hundreds of small objects accelerating at. These readings cannot be correct. Zextal leaned forward, watching as streams of tiny points of light rose from Earth's atmosphere. They moved with impossible agility, following trajectories that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. Analysis, Zextal demanded. They appear to be automated defense platforms, Raven reported, but they're using propulsion and guidance systems unlike anything in our database. They're, Supreme Commander, they're using localized space-time manipulation for navigation. That's theoretically impossible without at least 3 centuries of quantum field manipulation experience, Zextal said, but the evidence was undeniable as the human devices danced between their ships with fluid grace. The sensor officer's carapace paled. Energy spike detected. There. Multiple Mexalti ships vanished in brilliant flashes of light, their crystalline hulls shattering as the human devices detonated. They weren't using conventional weapons. They were creating microscopic points of intense gravitational distortion that ripped through the Mexalti's supposedly impenetrable shields as if they didn't exist. Full retreat. Zextal ordered, watching in horror as more ships disappeared. Emergency hyperspace jump. They're blocking our jump trajectories, Raven reported, their usual calm shattered. The humans are using some kind of quantum field interference. We can't establish stable hyperspace corridors. A new hologram appeared above the bridge. A transmission from Earth. A human face appeared, wearing what seemed to be a military uniform. Mexalti fleet, the human said, their words perfectly translated by systems that shouldn't have been able to decode Earth languages so quickly. You have entered restricted space and demonstrated hostile intent. We've spent generations preparing for this moment. You should have listened to the Council's warning. Zextal watched as another wave of human devices approached, their movements precise and deliberate. In that moment, the Supreme Commander understood their critical error. They had judged humanity by their visible technology, not their hidden potential. "Open communication channels," Zextal ordered. "Perhaps we can." The bridge rocked as another nearby ship shattered, its crystalline fragments sparkling in Earth's sunlight like 1,000 falling stars. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen stood in Earth Defense Command's central chamber, watching holographic displays track the retreating McSalty vessels. Hundreds of screens showed real-time data from quantum sensors hidden throughout the solar system, each one a testament to humanity's secret technological evolution. "Status report on SHIELD Network Beta," she commanded, her voice steady, despite the historic nature of the moment. Dr. James Rodriguez, lead physicist of the Quantum Defense Initiative, consulted his neural interface, another piece of technology humanity had kept hidden. "All systems performing beyond expectations, General. The gravitational disruption fields are maintaining perfect cohesion. The McSalty literally cannot see what they're trying to fight." Around them, the command center hummed with activity. Operators monitored defense platforms, each one containing technology that Earth's public scientists had dismissed as theoretical just a few years ago. The truth was far different from what the galaxy believed. Humanity had made their greatest advances in secret, preparing for this inevitable day. "Message from Luna Base 1," announced Lieutenant Hassan. "Professor Wong reports their quantum shield matrix absorbed enough energy from the McSalty attack to power their facilities for the next decade. She's requesting permission to activate Phase 2. General Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Permission granted. Let's show them why humanity's imagination has always been our greatest weapon." Across the lunar surface, hidden installations began to emerge. Crystalline structures, superficially similar to McSalty technology, but fundamentally different in principle, rose from beneath the regolith. Each one represented a fusion of human creativity with scientific principles that other species had never thought to combine. "Quantum entanglement network is online," Dr. Rodriguez reported. "Luna Base is syncing with Mars defense grid now." The general turned to face the assembled staff. "For generations, we let the galaxy think we were nothing but primitive dreamers. We built rockets while hiding quantum drives. We launched satellites while developing dimensional phase technology. Every public failure was a cover for a dozen secret successes." On the main screen, the McSalty ships struggled to maintain formation. Their once pristine crystalline hulls now bore the scars of encounter with human defense systems, technology born from centuries of science fiction writers imagining how humanity might defend itself among the stars. "They're attempting to regroup near Saturn's rings," Lieutenant Hassan reported. "Should we pursue?" "No need," Dr. Rodriguez interjected. "The quantum wake from their failed hyperspace jumps is already interfacing with the Saturn defense ring. In 3, 2, 1. The rings of Saturn briefly shimmered, revealing an enormous array of automated defense platforms, humanity's gift to themselves after decades of studying theoretical physics that other species had abandoned as impractical. "Open a channel to all McSalty vessels," General Chen ordered. The command center fell silent as she stepped onto the communication platform. "This is Earth Defense Command. Your ships are damaged, your retreat paths are blocked, and you've seen only a fraction of our capabilities. We offer you this one chance. Stand down." The response came quickly, Supreme Commander Zextal's voice carrying a new note of respect tinged with fear. "How is this possible? Your species hasn't even achieved unified planetary government." "We achieved something better," Chen replied. "We learned to work together while maintaining our diversity. Every culture on Earth contributed to these defenses. We built this shield network together, while competing nations argued about farming rights on Mars. A perfect distraction." She gestured, and the holographic display showed the full extent of Earth's defensive network, a complex web of quantum-linked satellites, dimensional phase projectors, and gravitational manipulation devices extending far beyond Neptune's orbit. Our scientists theorized that any sufficiently advanced species would eventually find us. Chen continued. So we prepared. Every science fiction story, every wild theory, every imagined scenario, they all contributed to what you face today. We turned our dreams into reality while letting the galaxy see only what they expected to see. The silence from the McSalty fleet spoke volumes. They had come expecting to find a primitive civilization. Instead, they had wakened a giant that had been preparing for this moment since the first human looked up at the stars and wondered, what if? In the bustling research center beneath Lagos, Dr. Oluwaseun Adebayo circled a holographic projection of a captured McSalty engine core. 3 weeks had passed since the initial confrontation, and humanity's hidden technological prowess had given way to something even more remarkable: their ability to innovate at unprecedented speeds. The crystalline matrix isn't just for structural integrity, she explained to the gathered team of international scientists. They're using it as a computational network. But look here. She gestured at a particular formation of crystals. They're only utilizing about 30% of its potential. Dr. Wei Chen from Beijing's Quantum Institute leaned forward, his augmented reality interface highlighting different aspects of the alien technology. Because they never thought to combine it with quantum entanglement principles, they developed their technology in a straight line. But we humans, Oluwaseun smiled, we never learned to color inside the lines. The research facility hummed with energy as teams from every nation worked together, each bringing unique perspectives to the challenge of understanding and improving upon alien technology. What the McSalty had created through millennia of careful, methodical advancement, humanity was redefining in weeks. Updates from orbital defense, announced Dr. Sarah Thompson, entering the lab with fresh data streams flowing through her neural interface. The McSalty are regrouping near the Kuiper Belt. Intelligence suggests they're bringing reinforcements. Let them come, Oluwaseun replied, her fingers dancing through the holographic display. Every ship they send gives us more data to work with. How's the testing on the modified shield harmonics? Better than we hoped, Sarah answered, projecting a new set of results into the shared display. By integrating their crystalline technology with our quantum field generators, we've increased efficiency by 400%. The energy bleed-off is actually producing usable power now. In another corner of the lab, Professor Hiroshi Tanaka looked up from his analysis of McSalty navigation systems. They've built their entire faster-than-light technology around manipulating space-time through brute force. They never even considered using quantum tunneling as an alternative. Classic example of technological momentum. White commented, manipulating a molecular simulation with practiced ease. They found one solution that worked and stuck with it for thousands of years. Their engineers stopped asking, what if, and focused only on refining what they knew. The room's main display lit up with an incoming transmission from Earth Defense Command. General Chen's hologram appeared, her expression both serious and excited. Dr. Adebayo, please tell me you have good news. Our long-range sensors show at least twice as many ships approaching as the first wave. Oluwaseun's smile widened as she transmitted the latest test results. Better than good news, General. We're not just copying their technology, we're reinventing it. The captured engine cores have already taught us enough to develop our own faster-than-light drive, but ours will be more efficient by an order of magnitude. How long until we can deploy? That's the best part, Dr. Thompson interjected. Remember those theoretical prototype ships we built last decade? The ones officially labeled as failed experiments. They're perfect for these modifications. We can have a fleet ready in days, not months. The General's hologram nodded approvingly. The McSalty are expecting us to either cower behind our defenses or try to copy their technology directly. They don't understand that humanity's greatest weapon has always been our ability to take ideas and transform them into something new. Speaking of new ideas, Hiroshi called out, who wants to see what happens when we combine their crystalline computing architecture with our quantum neural networks. I have a simulation running that suggests we could create an artificial intelligence capable of predicting faster-than-light spatial distortions before they form. Around the world, similar scenes played out in hidden research facilities. Humanity had spent generations preparing for first contact, building secret technologies and infrastructure. But now they were doing what they did best: adapting, innovating, and evolving at a pace that would terrify any species that thought technology should develop in predictable patterns. The Mixalti were bringing reinforcements, expecting to face the same defenses that had repelled their first attack. They would find instead a humanity that had already learned, grown, and transformed their own technology into something entirely new. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had dominated their world, not through superior strength or speed, but through unmatched adaptability and relentless innovation. Medical Officer Emma Torres walked through the pristine halls of the orbital medical station, Hope's Harbor, her footsteps echoing softly against the polished floors. Through the large observation windows, Earth glowed like a jewel against the backdrop of space, while the docked ships of various sizes testified to humanity's swift advancement into spacefaring civilization. She paused outside Treatment Bay 17, reviewing the holographic patient information floating before her. Inside, a Mixalti soldier recovered from severe injuries sustained during the latest skirmish at the edge of the solar system. The alien warrior had expected execution upon capture. Instead, they found themselves receiving the same level of care as any human patient. "Good morning, Commander Vexry," Emma said as she entered the room. "How are we feeling today?" The Mixalti officer's bioluminescent spots pulsed with confusion, an emotion Emma had learned to recognize over the past weeks. "I still don't understand." Vexry clicked through the translator. "Why waste resources healing an enemy?" Emma checked the regeneration field surrounding the commander's damaged carapace. "We don't see healing as a waste of resources, and we don't see you as an enemy. You're a patient in need of care." In the next room, Dr. Kenji Yamamoto was explaining to another Mixalti patient how they had adapted human tissue regeneration technology to work with their alien biology. The Mixalti listened with increasing astonishment as they learned how quickly human medical science had evolved to accommodate their unique physiology. "Your species confuses us," Vexry admitted, watching as Emma adjusted the treatment parameters. "You fight with incredible ferocity, yet show kindness to the defeated. You possess weapons that could destroy our ships, yet risk your own vessels to rescue our stranded crews." A soft alert chimed through the station. "Incoming rescue operation," announced the station's eye. 3 escape pods recovered from the Perseus engagement. 2 humans, 4 Mixalti crew members. Medical teams to Reception Bay 3. Emma smiled at her patient. "Would you like to observe the intake process? It might help you understand." Vexry agreed, and Emma helped them into a mobile support unit. They made their way to the reception bay, where they watched as human medical teams worked seamlessly to treat both species. There was no hesitation, no difference in the urgency of care between human and Mixalti patients. "During your first attack," Emma explained as they observed, "we learned more about your biology from treating your wounded than we ever could have from studying destroyed ships. Every patient we heal teaches us something new, makes us better at saving the next life, regardless of their species." Through the observation window, they watched as Dr. Isabella Patil used a combination of human and adapted Mixalti medical technology to stabilize a critically injured alien crew member. The procedure would have been impossible just weeks ago, but humanity's drive to preserve life had led to swift advancements in xenomedicine. "Several of your healed soldiers have requested asylum," Emma continued. "They've joined our medical research teams, helping us understand how to better treat their people. They chose to stay because we showed them respect, not just as prisoners or patients, but as people." Vexry's spots shifted to a deep blue, a sign of deep thought. "In all our centuries of expansion, we never considered that showing mercy could be a source of strength rather than weakness." A young medical resident rushed up to Emma, her eyes bright with excitement. "Dr. Torres, the neural integration procedure was successful. We can now use the modified crystalline matrices to accelerate healing in both species. The McSalty volunteers were right about the resonance frequencies." Emma nodded, watching understanding dawn in Vexry's compound eyes. This was humanity's true power, not just their ability to fight, but their capacity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger through cooperation rather than pure competition. "Your people came expecting us to either submit or fight to the death," Emma said softly. "Instead, we showed you a third path. Every life we save, every person we heal, they carry back to your fleet a message more powerful than any weapon. That strength and compassion are not opposing forces, but complementary ones." As if to emphasize her point, the station's speakers announced another incoming rescue mission. Without hesitation, human medical teams rushed to their stations, ready once again to demonstrate that humanity's greatest victories often came not through destruction, but through the simple yet revolutionary act of caring for those in need. Captain Maya Patel stood on the bridge of the Earth-shipped Starcatcher, watching her fleet execute what could only be described as a choreographed dance among the stars. The newly commissioned vessels moved with impossible grace, their quantum drives allowing them to shift through space in ways that defied traditional physics. "Battle Group 3, prepare for harmonic maneuver Delta," she commanded, her neural interface translating the complex series of movements into a symphony of coordinated action. 20 ships responded instantly, weaving through space in patterns inspired by classical ballet. Lieutenant David Chen monitored the quantum field readings from his station. "McSalty sensors are having trouble tracking us, Captain. Their targeting systems can't predict our movements." "That's because they're looking for traditional attack patterns," Maya replied with a slight smile. "They don't understand that we based our formations on dance choreography. No one expects a fleet to move like a ballet company." The massive view screen showed the McSalty reinforcement fleet approaching, twice the size of their first invasion force. Their crystalline ships arranged themselves in rigid geometric patterns that had likely remained unchanged for centuries. "All ships, initiate Cultural Protocol 7, Maya ordered. The command brought questioning looks from some of her newer bridge officers, but her veteran crew merely smiled. Across the human fleet, ships began broadcasting. Not threats or demands, but music, Earth's greatest symphonies, folk songs from 100 nations, and modern compositions created specifically for this moment filled the void between the opposing forces. "They're responding," reported Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka. "The McSalty command ship is demanding to know the strategic purpose of the transmissions." "Send them the cultural package," Maya instructed. "Let them see who we are." The transmission carried thousands of years of human artistic achievement. Paintings, sculptures, literature, dance, and music from every culture on Earth. Along with it went mathematical proofs showing the relationship between art and science, demonstrations of how human creativity had led to technological breakthroughs. "Multiple McSalty ships are dropping out of formation," David reported, excitement creeping into his voice. "Their crews appear to be listening." Maya nodded. The McSalty weren't just facing a technologically advanced enemy. They were experiencing humanity's greatest weapon, their ability to touch hearts and minds across the boundaries of species. "Incoming transmission from a McSalty destroyer," Yuki announced. "They're requesting chic music, specifically for something called Mozart's Symphony No. 40. The bridge crew couldn't help but laugh. This was humanity's true strength, not just their ability to fight, but their power to make others want to understand them, to share in their achievements and dreams. "Tactical analysis," Maya called out. "Show me the pattern of ships that have broken formation." The tactical display highlighted dozens of McSalty vessels whose crews had become enraptured by human culture. Their positions formed an unintentional weakness in the enemy fleet's defense grid. "Battle Group 2, prepare for Shakespeare maneuver," Maya commanded. She had always appreciated the poetry of naming their most elegant attack pattern after Earth's greatest playwright. The human ships moved like dancers through the gaps in the McSalty formation, their quantum drives allowing them to execute maneuvers that looked more like artistic expression than military tactics. Each ship's path complemented the others, creating a deadly ballet that left the rigid McSalty formations in disarray. Multiple McSalty ships are powering down weapons, David reported. They're requesting cultural exchanges. Maya smiled as she watched more enemy vessels break ranks, their crews choosing to receive transmissions of human art and music rather than maintain battle positions. The McSalty had come expecting to fight barbarians or cower before superior technology. Instead, they found themselves drawn into humanity's greatest performance, a dance of technology and culture, of power and beauty. "Send to all ships," Maya ordered, watching as the battle transformed into something entirely new. "Continue broadcasting. Let them see that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our technology. It's our ability to create beauty even in the midst of conflict, to touch hearts even across the gulf of space." The stars themselves seemed to dance as human ships wove between them, their movements a testament to the species that had dreamed of this moment for centuries. They had prepared for war but brought with them the full spectrum of human achievement, turning a potential apocalypse into a testament to the power of art and culture to bridge the gaps between worlds. The orbital strategic command center above Mars hummed with anticipation as Fleet Admiral Elena Rodriguez reviewed the final pieces of humanity's master plan. Holographic displays showed the positions of both human and McSalty forces throughout the solar system, a complex three-dimensional chess game played across the stars. "Status report from all operational groups," she commanded, her voice steady despite the historic weight of the moment. Commander Michael Jung gestured at the tactical display. "Operation Lighthouse is ready. Our cultural transmission stations are in position near every major McSalty supply line. Dr. Torres reports that our healed McSalty allies are standing by to broadcast their testimonies. Professor Wong's quantum research team confirms the resonance field generators are synchronized," added Dr. Sarah Mitchell, her hands dancing through streams of data. "The moment they activate their hyperdrives, we'll be ready." Elena studied the display showing the McSalty fleet's current formation. Their ships had abandoned their rigid geometric patterns, now clustering in confused groups as more crews became exposed to human culture and ideas. The once unified empire was fragmenting not from military might, but from the power of new perspectives. "Message from Captain Patel's battle group," Michael announced. "The musical warfare initiative has exceeded all projections. Nearly 40% of McSalty ships have requested cultural exchange protocols. Their command structure is showing signs of philosophical crisis." Elena nodded, watching as colored indicators showed the spread of human influence through the enemy fleet. "And our final piece." "Ready," Sarah confirmed. "The quantum entanglement network is primed. The moment we initiate, every McSalty ship will receive simultaneous transmissions from their healed comrades, their converted allies, and our complete historical database, showing humanity's journey from cave paintings to quantum physics." The Admiral stood, addressing the assembled command staff. "For generations, we prepared for first contact by building weapons and shields. But our greatest preparations weren't the technologies we developed. They were the stories we told, the art we created, and the dreams we dared to dream." She gestured at a secondary display showing transmissions from Earth's surface. Millions of humans had gathered in parks and squares, not in fear, but in celebration, preparing for a synchronized global concert that would be broadcast across space. "The McSalty expected us to either submit or fight conventionally," Elena continued. "Instead, we showed them something they had never seen in their millennia of conquest, a species that could fight with both strength and wisdom, that could win wars without destroying their opponents." "Signal from the McSalty flagship," Michael reported suddenly. "Supreme Commander Zextal is requesting emergency philosophical consultation." A ripple of knowing laughter spread through the command center. The Mixalti leader had finally encountered the true power of humanity, their ability to make others question their most fundamental assumptions about the universe. Initiate final phase, Alina commanded. All stations, execute Operation Renaissance. Across the solar system, human ships moved in perfect coordination, but they didn't fire weapons. Instead, they activated vast networks of quantum resonance generators. The space between the fleets filled with synchronized waves of energy that carried not destruction, but pure information. Every Mixalti ship received simultaneous transmissions, art that showed humanity's capacity for beauty, music that demonstrated their harmony, historical records that proved their resilience, and personal testimonies from their own healed soldiers that revealed humanity's compassion. Multiple Mixalti command ships are powering down weapons, Michael reported, his voice filled with wonder. They're requesting immediate diplomatic channels. Sir, they're asking how to download more Earth music. Alina smiled as she watched the tactical display transform. The battle lines were dissolving not through force, but through understanding. The Mixalti hadn't just encountered a species with advanced technology. They had found one that could change how they saw the universe itself. Send to all commands, she ordered. Operation Renaissance is complete. Begin cultural integration protocols. She paused, watching as former enemy ships approached not in hostility but in curiosity. And someone make sure they get the complete works of Shakespeare. They'll need to understand what just happened. The final battle for Earth's solar system ended not with explosions or surrender, but with an exchange of ideas that would reshape galactic civilization. Humanity had proven that the most powerful force in the universe wasn't technology or weapons. It was the ability to make others see the stars themselves in a new light. The grand chamber of the Galactic Assembly sparkled just as it had months ago, when Vlizar first warned them about humanity. But now, as the xenological researchers stood before the gathered representatives, the atmosphere was markedly different. The formerly dismissive council members leaned forward in their seats, their attention firmly fixed on the approaching human delegation. Esteemed members of the assembly, Vizar began, his scales shifting to a brilliant gold of pride. We gather today to witness what may be the most significant shift in galactic civilization since the founding of this council. The massive doors opened, and the human diplomatic team entered. Led by Ambassador Sophia Chen, they walked with quiet confidence, their diverse group representing Earth's many cultures. Behind them came several Mixalti, including Supreme Commander Zextal, their presence a testament to the unprecedented changes of the past months. When I last stood here, Vizar continued, I warned you about humanity's potential. I spoke of their adaptability, their creativity, their unique combination of traits. Yet even I underestimated them. I told you to fear them. Instead, we should have prepared to learn from them. The holographic displays activated, showing scenes from the recent events. Human ships dancing through space, medical teams treating Mixalti wounded, cultural exchanges transforming ancient enemies into eager students of Earth's arts and sciences. Ambassador Chen stepped forward, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. The Galactic Council warned others to fear humanity, but fear was never what we wanted to inspire. We come before you today, not as conquerors, not as warriors, but as teachers, students, and partners in the grand adventure of exploring this universe together. Zextal moved to stand beside her, his crystalline carapace now etched with human artistic patterns, a growing fashion among his people. The Mixalti Empire spent millennia expanding through force, believing it was the only way to progress. Humanity showed us a different path. They defeated us not by destroying our ships, but by opening our minds. The assembled representatives murmured as data streams showed the changes already spreading through Mixalti space. Ships redesigned with human artistic principles, cultural centers, teaching Earth languages and arts, scientific innovations born from combining both species' technologies. We request full membership in the Galactic Council, Sophia announced, not just for Earth, but for a new joint delegation representing both humanity and the transformed Mixalti society. Let our first act in galactic politics be one of unity rather than division." High Counselor Angstera's crystalline form sparkled as she spoke. "You achieved faster than light travel, defeated a superior force, and transformed an ancient empire, all within months of first contact. Some would say this proves you are indeed to be feared." Sophia smiled. "With respect, Counselor, we achieved those things because we spent centuries imagining them first. Every story we told, every piece of art we created, every dream we dared to dream, they all prepared us for this moment. We didn't develop technology in the expected order because we weren't bound by expectations. Humanity's greatest strength," Vizar added, "isn't their weapons or their technology. It's their ability to imagine different futures and then work tirelessly to make those dreams reality. They don't follow paths, they'd forge new ones." The chamber filled with light as the voting commenced. One by one, the representatives signaled their approval, many citing the profound impact human culture had already had on their own societies. As the final votes were tallied, Sophia addressed the assembly once more. "We look forward to sharing our stories, our arts, our sciences, and our dreams with all of you. But more importantly, we look forward to learning your stories, understanding your perspectives, and working together to imagine new possibilities for our shared future." The Galactic Council had warned others to fear humanity. Instead, they learned to embrace the species that had turned an invasion into a renaissance, that had defeated an empire with music and art as much as with ships and shields. As the assembly chamber filled with the sound of Earth's classical music, now a favorite throughout the galaxy, it was clear that humanity had done more than prove themselves ready for the stars. They had shown the galaxy itself how to dream bigger dreams.